Hello, and welcome back to another great episode of hashtag Screw the W2. And we got a great guest on today, Savannah Arroyo. And you can probably see if you're viewing this on YouTube of the Networth Nurse. And probably right from that title, you can take a, pretty good guess to what her previous W2 job was. But I'm going to let her go into that and tell us about that. Savannah, welcome to the show.
Hi, yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah, you bet. So now, obviously, you've kind of been really diving into, real estate, syndication, capital raising, etc. But can you take us back a little bit to your, previous W-2 job? What did you do? What was that? Or, was there a normal day, so to speak?
Yeah, yeah, no, I very much had a strong W-2 for a very long time. I had known really from a young age I wanted to go into nursing as a profession. I started even in high school working towards different like ROP type programs to go to things after school. And so I went I grew up in Northern California, up in Sacramento, went to Sacramento State University, graduated with my nursing license in 2013, and then over the last 9 years worked in a bunch of different specialties, oncology, ortho, PACU, pre-op.
Wow.
And more recently I was in management, so I really loved process improvement, supporting caregivers, and so went back to school pretty early on in my career and got my master's degree in nursing leadership and administration. And so always really had the goal of becoming a chief nursing officer. I really loved making high level decisions for the hospital, and that was really kind of the path that I was going on until I discovered real estate.
Sure. Cool. All right. So, obviously you discovered real estate and everyone kind of has their own, journey and story, but was there or what was your, moment, so to speak, of, okay, I love nursing, but I got to get out of here. I need something different. I want to start, in real estate, whatever that was.
Yeah, for me, it was definitely when I had my daughters, after I had
Okay.
my second daughter, and when I was returning from maternity leave, really feeling the heavy weight of, wow, this could be my last time with a prolonged stretch period with my daughters, handing them over to daycare at 3 months old because I was reliant on a paycheck was a pretty
Yep.
tough feeling. And although I really loved nursing, I still do love it so much that it shifted priorities once I had my daughters and
Okay.
realized how dependent my husband and I were on our W-2. Like if
Mm,
anything were to happen and we were
yep.
cut off from that W-2, we would have no more income coming in. And
Exactly.
so we started researching different ways to generate additional income and stumbled upon real estate for obvious reasons. It's one of the best ways out there to do it. And so really just kind of started educating ourselves on that and realized the potential of it and went all in.
Cool. Awesome. Yeah. Ironically, just for this recording, I had Jay Helms of the W2 Capitalist, and he shared an interesting story of his youngest daughter and called the W2 as our adult security blanket. It's like, I don't think I can come up with a better description than that. We're programmed into that from day one. So, but now, obviously you had your, time with your daughter, dropped her off at daycare. It's like, oh, geez, I have to go back to work. What were the next steps that you took to be able to get to a position where you weren't just reliant on one source of income, so to speak?
Yeah, it was really education at that point. So we learned about real estate, had watched some YouTube videos, we're listening to podcasts, educating ourselves about it. And for me, it was listening to podcasts. And that's why now I'm so passionate about guesting on people's podcasts to share my story, because listening to people's stories over and over again is
Mhm.
really what motivated me to take the first step. Like it was listening to podcasts and hearing people from all walks of life, all different backgrounds of education and work experience, and they were all making real estate work for them. And
Mhm.
so it was listening to that and realizing, like, okay, we can do this. My husband and I having no background in it, no family members doing real estate. It was very intimidating, when you look at
Mhm.
it and from afar and don't know too much about it. But so we just started educating ourselves, and we sat down and got very specific of like, okay, where do we want to be in 5 years? What kind of flexibility do we want to have with our
Mhm.
daughters? What does our day to day look like? What do we want to be working on. And we had a lot of fun with it, but got really specific on like, okay, how much money do we want to be bringing in every month? And how is that going to be offsetting our W-2 income? And with that, it kind of, with looking at a 5-year period, we were able to backtrack, okay, where do we need to be at 3 years? Where do we need to be at 1 year? What action steps do we need to be taking on a regular basis to achieve our goals? And so that's kind of how we laid it all out. But it was, daily education, grinding. We were working full-time jobs, coming home, hanging out with our daughters, putting them to bed, and working on real estate every night together for, a year and a half, almost 2 years before I was able to quit that W-2.
Wow. Okay, interesting. So now and maybe you know this, what was your, I call it the freedom day. Do you know exactly when it was? Like this was the last day of my W-2 job or
Oh, I cannot believe I do not remember that date. I'm actually a little bit embarrassed. Oh my gosh, no one's ever asked me that. I remember so many other important dates. That one's huge. It was sometime in um October of 2021, I believe.
Okay.
So I'm about to hit my 1 year mark. So I'll have
Okay.
to look it up before my 1 year and actually make a big deal about it.
Yep, yeah, I know my was mine was September 3rd, 2019. My previous guest, he actually got fired, so he knew his job or their large corporate restructuring, you know how that goes, and he knew to the day. It's like, yep, May 1st, 2020, and then it turned out to be the best thing for him. So
Yeah.
all right, so around October 2021, yeah, at the time of this recording, and will get published, that'll be about a year to the date. Since you made the transition to full time real estate, have there been any regrets or anything you missed from your W-2 job or your old workplace?
Oh man. I mean, I guess a lot has happened in the last year that has been, really eye-opening. I would say definitely when it came down to quitting the job, for us, it was looking at like, okay, how much money were we bringing in from our W-2? But because real estate is taxed so differently, we
Yep.
didn't have to meet that same exact number. I was making a
Right.
fairly heavy salary in the hospital, and what we needed to achieve in real estate was really kind of the net of that, not the
Sure.
gross, because of the tax differences. So that was a
Yep.
big kind of aha moment of realizing, okay, wow, I can actually leave my W-2 job a lot quicker than I think because of the
Mhm.
tax implications of it. And so that was pretty cool. Another thing was we were thinking of potentially getting a short-term rental last year, and because I didn't have my income anymore, and because our LLCs of where we're generating income on our real estate properties are less than 2 years, we couldn't use the income
Ah,
on those. So we had to get a little bit more creative with financing on that. And then with where everything went with interest rates, we kind of pivoted on that strategy regardless. But I've been working on building a startup. So I'm kind of moving into the VC startup space, which is
wow.
like learning real estate all over. But that's really been kind of my main focus over the last year. We've done a deal. We're actually probably going to do another deal in the next couple months. So we're still looking at real estate actively and investing in it, but moving kind of into the startup space.
Oh, very cool. All right. So yeah, as you made this journey and obviously with all the things going on, what has been the best part of your journey or what's been the, thing you enjoy the most now that you've left the, safe and secure paycheck W-2 world to where you're at now as a, full-time investor and entrepreneur?
Oh my gosh, the freedom. Like I can't even express the happiness that the freedom provides me. And I mean, I was working a very demanding job in administration in the healthcare industry, overseeing, 60 to 80 employees. I had, the minute I walked into the hospital, I had doctors,
Oh,
nurses,
geez.
people in my door, in my office, like, serving me their problems. And that was a part of the job. I loved it. It was very invigorating at times, worked with a lot of amazing people. But now being able to work on my own business is a lot different. It's way more fulfilling for me, having the flexibility to work at home and being able to like take a break midday and go to yoga and be able to make a smoothie and I just made a tea before I sat down for this interview. Like being able to be in my home has provided me so much sanity and happiness. And then also, I mean, I still work at the hospital once a week. I wasn't
Okay.
really ready to let go of nursing completely. And I did take a few months off, and now I just go back once a week.
Okay.
And for me, it's being able to show up to work not as stressed out, knowing that I don't have to be there. It's a
Yeah.
different perspective walking into the hospital and even the care that I'm able to provide to patients. So a lot has shifted for sure. It's brought a lot, the freedom has brought so much more happiness into my life for sure.
Cool. Sounds good. Now, just out of curiosity, and obviously, depending on when my listeners are listening to this, whether now or 10 years in the future, obviously left at end of 2021. Did the whole COVID situation, and obviously you being in the medical field, did that exacerbate the exit? Did that change anything or?
Yes, absolutely. It 100% did. I was, overseeing a ortho practice. I had to lay off employees here in
uh,
California, not knowing if they were even going to get subsidized from the government, not knowing if they would get a check coming in,
oh,
early
geez.
on. Having to care for patients without any equipment and PPE. I mean, we saw it all. It was like every
Yeah.
day we came into work, it was rolling out different process for our patients and for our staff. And it was very demanding. And luckily, I was working with an amazing team at the time, and we came together so well and just handled it. That I think where we were at the time, it was good. But I worked in LA. There was freezer trucks outside our hospital for months with bodies in it because the morgues couldn't handle it down here. And so
Jeez.
it shook up the caregivers a lot. And so really what I'm doing with my startup is aimed completely to support caregivers in a way,
Okay.
more financially and with investment knowledge and that sort of stuff. And so it's really motivated me to work on this product specifically for healthcare professionals. Yeah.
All right, interesting. Well, and that's actually the perfect segue to final as we close out this recording. What all, I call it the soapbox moment, so to speak. But being that you started the Networth Nurse, and you're, looking at all these new projects and startups, what are you all working on? Where can people go to find out more of your projects and what you're working on, and maybe what you're most excited about with 2023 around the corner?
Yeah, definitely. So, our biggest goal is to provide passive investment opportunities for nurses and other healthcare professionals, anyone in general. You don't have to be a healthcare professional to
Sure.
invest in my deals as a passive investor at all, but I do attract a lot of healthcare professionals into our
Mm.
deals. So, we provide opportunities for people to passively invest in real estate through syndications. If you guys want to learn more about that, I have tons of information on my website, www.networthnurse.co. And then on there as well, we realized a lot of nurses had questions and needed insight on basic financial principles. So we have a couple courses on there. We have a personal
Oh,
finance course. We also have a real estate course if you want to go out and buy your own real estate deal and want to just kind of understand real estate in general in a lot more detail. So we have some courses. We have tons of worksheets and products and downloads and stuff on there. I have tons of blogs. I've guested on over 100 podcasts. So
oh,
you can head over
wow.
to my website and probably find everything that you would need that's relevant to what we're doing over here at Networth Nurse and then with Willow Investment Group. That's our real estate investment company. And
Gotcha.
I love reaching out to people. I'm pretty active on social media. So, Instagram's my favorite. That's where I hang out the most, but I am on Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn as
All
well.
right, very cool. So yeah, I think at this recording, I've been featured on 20 podcasts. And I thought that was pretty
Yay!
substantial. And it's like, okay, she just 5x to 5x me out of the park.
I'm aggressive.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, I wanted to thank you again for taking the time out of your schedule, Savannah. This is really interesting, and I'm hoping to be one of the investors as well to invest with Willow once I have some more funds available in my self-directed retirement account.
Yes, we're looking forward to it. Thank you for having me so much.
You bet. Thank you.